All right, so are you ready to dive deep into the Billboard Music Awards?
The BMAs.
Yeah, the BMAs,
Let's do it.
where music and data collide.
That's right, yeah.
It's the ultimate measure of what really resonated with the public.
Exactly. It's like the report card for musicians, you know?
Yeah.
Based on cold, hard facts.
So let's kick off with a little history lesson.
Okay.
The BMAs have been around since 1990,
A while.
but they haven't been without their twists and turns.
Yeah, for sure. There was actually a period between 2007 and 2010 where the awards went on hiatus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they also bounced between a few different networks.
Like a real TV nomad.
Totally, yeah, before landing back on Fox in 2024.
What prompted these changes?
It's a good question.
Was it a struggle to find the right audience?
Maybe.
Or maybe an attempt to adapt to the rapidly changing music industry?
Could be both.
Especially when you consider that in 2023, the BMAs ditched the traditional broadcast
That's right.
and became a digital-only event.
Well, a big move.
What are your thoughts on this bold move?
Well, I mean, it's definitely a sign of the times, right?
Yeah.
We're in an era where streaming and online content are king, so it makes sense for the BMAs to go where the audience is.
Probably opens them up to a much larger global audience,
Exactly.
especially those younger demographic.
Yeah, who might not even own a TV.
Do you think there's a risk of alienating their more traditional audience?
There's always a risk with any major change.
True.
But the BMAs have never been afraid to evolve.
That's true.
I mean, think about it. The award categories themselves have gone through so many transformations.
Yeah.
Initially, they were quite static.
Right.
But in 2011, they introduced the top award title format.
Okay.
And there's been further changes since then.
Like some categories have disappeared altogether.
Completely, yeah.
Like top pop punk artist and top modern rock artist.
Yeah, it feels a little nostalgic now, right?
It does.
It really makes you think about how much the industry has changed.
Speaking of change, the BMAs are all about data.
Absolutely. They're data-driven to the core.
It's not about opinions or popularity contests.
Nope. It's all about those hard numbers.
Can you break down how this actually works?
Sure. So Billboard partners with companies like MRC Data and Next Big Sound.
Okay.
These companies track everything.
Okay.
Physical album sales, digital downloads, streaming numbers, radio airplay,
Wow.
even touring data.
So even if you're not topping the streaming charts,
Right.
if you're selling out stadiums, you've still got a shot at BMA glory.
Precisely. It paints a much more comprehensive picture of an artist's success.
Looking at the all-time BMA champions,
Yeah.
it's clear that sustained success across multiple metrics is key.
Absolutely. Take Taylor Swift, for example.
Oh yeah, 49 awards.
Can you believe it?
What is it about her approach that makes her such a consistent winner?
She's a master songwriter, and she just has this incredible knack for crafting music that connects with a broad audience.
Yeah.
And let's not forget her dedicated fan base.
Oh, the Swifties?
The Swifties, exactly.
They are a force.
They really are. They're so active in supporting her across all platforms.
Buying her albums, streaming her music, packing her concerts.
All of it.
It's incredible synergy between her artistry and her connection with her fan base.
I agree.
It translates directly into those impressive Billboard metrics.
You got it.
It's not just solo artists who are making their mark on the BMAs,
Right.
BTS, the global K-pop sensation.
Yeah.
They hold the group record.
12 wins.
Wow. Showcasing the incredible global power of music.
It's amazing, isn't it?
The BMAs also celebrate legends with special awards.
Absolutely.
The Artist of the Decade
Uh-huh.
and the Icon Award.
Right.
It's like taking a journey through music history.
I love that. Yeah.
The Artist of the Decade, it really paints a vivid picture.
Yeah.
Madonna claimed it for the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
Mariah Carey for the 90s,
Yep.
Eminem for the 2000s,
Yeah.
and Drake for the 2010s.
Right.
And the Icon Award has gone to a truly diverse group,
It has, yeah.
from Neil Diamond
Yeah.
and Stevie Wonder
Yeah.
to Prince, J-Lo, Celine Dion, Cher, Janet Jackson.
Wow.
It highlights the power of music to transcend time and generations.
It really does.
And speaking of music in all its glory,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the element that generates the most buzz.
The performances.
The performances.
Absolutely, yeah.
The BMAs have given us some truly unforgettable performances over the years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Think back to 2011.
Okay.
Rihanna and Britney Spears joined forces.
Oh, yeah. How could we forget that was?
The energy was electric.
It really was.
A performance that definitely pushed boundaries.
It did.
And who could forget Michael Jackson's virtual performance?
In 2014.
Yeah, it was a bittersweet moment.
It
A
was.
reminder of his enduring legacy.
Mhm.
But the technology was groundbreaking.
Oh, what?
Prince's appearance in 2013, another one for the books.
Oh, absolutely.
His raw energy and musicianship were simply captivating.
A masterclass in showmanship.
And Madonna and Stevie Wonder's tribute to Prince in 2016.
So moving.
An incredibly moving performance. It would showcase the deep respect and admiration within the music community.
For sure.
These performances really elevate the BMAs.
Definitely.
Beyond just an award show.
Yeah.
They become these cultural touchstones
I agree.
that capture the essence of an artist, a genre, or a whole movement.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of connection and inspiration,
Okay.
we can't ignore the massive influence of social media.
Oh, it's huge.
It's no longer just about album sales and radio play.
No.
It's about likes, shares, followers, that constant online engagement.
Absolutely.
It's a completely new game.
And is.
And the BMAs have recognized this shift
Yeah.
by incorporating social media into their categories.
Mm.
The Top Social Artist Award,
Right.
entirely fan-voted,
Yeah.
based on social media engagement,
That's right.
acknowledging the power of online fan bases.
It's huge.
A really smart move, reflecting a broader trend
Mhm.
where online buzz is almost like a new currency.
Exact.
We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've explored the history of the BMAs,
Yeah.
their data-driven approach,
Uh-huh.
the evolution of categories,
Mhm.
and those iconic performances.
It's been fascinating.
But we're not done yet, so stay tuned as we continue our deep dive into the Billboard Music Awards.
Looking forward to it.
We'll be tackling the impact of their shift to a digital format
Okay.
and asking the big question,
Yeah.
what does the future hold for these awards in this ever-evolving music landscape?
Stay tuned. Welcome back.
All right, so we've talked a lot about what makes the BMAs unique.
Yeah.
The data, the evolution, those amazing performances.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that's always a hot topic with award shows
What's that?
is viewership.
Viewership, right? How many people are actually tuning in?
Yeah, exactly.
It's in the million-dollar question.
Especially in today's world.
It is, yeah. With so many different ways to consume entertainment, you know?
Yeah.
The BMAs, like many other award shows, they've seen some fluctuations in viewership over the years, especially a downward trend
Really.
in recent times.
You'd think with their data-driven approach.
You would think they'd be immune to this trend.
Yeah.
But the reality is, there are so many factors at play these days.
Like what?
Well, I mean, viewing habits are changing. Streaming services offer endless options.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, there's a certain level of award show fatigue setting in for some people.
That's true. So how has the BMAs moved to a digital format
Right.
impacted their viewership?
Well, it's still early days
Okay.
to make a definitive call.
Yeah.
But on one hand, going digital opens them up to a potential global audience.
Right.
That's no longer limited by, traditional broadcast schedules or where they live.
Anyone with an internet connection can tune in.
Exactly. Anytime, anywhere.
Yeah, it's a powerful way to tap into that younger generation.
It is.
The more digitally savvy.
Yeah.
But I am curious.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a risk that they lose that shared viewing experience
Ooh, that's a good point.
that traditional broadcasts provide?
You're right. There's something special about that collective anticipation
Yeah.
of watching something unfold live,
Especially with award shows?
especially with award shows.
Yeah.
It's true that trying to replicate that online can be tough.
Yeah, where people are watching at different times, pausing, multitasking.
Exactly. It's not quite the same.
So it seems like they're taking a gamble,
It is a gamble.
trading potential for massive live viewership,
Mm-hmm.
for the opportunity to reach a wider audience.
It is, but it's one that could pay off in the long run.
How so?
Well, they might not hit those astronomical viewership figures that traditional broadcasts sometimes boast, but they could build a more dedicated global fan base
That's true.
that's actively participating
Online.
online.
And that's where their data-driven approach could really help.
Absolutely.
They're already experts at tracking engagement, understanding trends.
All of that, yeah.
So it'll be fascinating to see how their digital strategy evolves and whether they can translate online interactions into a new measure of success.
That's right.
Speaking of evolving, earlier we mentioned some BMA award categories have disappeared.
Yeah, we did.
Do you think this reflects a change in musical tastes?
It's probably a bit of both, I think.
Okay.
Remember top pop punk artist, top modern rock artist? Those were once thriving categories.
They were.
Reflecting, the dominant genres of their time.
But musical landscapes shift.
They do, constantly.
It makes you wonder if those categories might make a comeback.
You never know.
Music has a way of circling back, right?
It does, yeah.
Trends resurface. Nostalgia kicks in.
Exactly. So who knows what the future holds?
That's the beauty of it.
It is.
It's constantly evolving, surprising us.
Yeah.
And the BMAs are perfectly positioned to capture those shifts.
With their data.
With their data.
Yeah.
It's all about staying relevant, adapting to the times.
Yeah.
And recognizing the artists who are connecting with audiences.
That's what it's all about.
Regardless of genre or style.
Absolutely.
Now,
yeah.
You mentioned earlier the excitement surrounding BMA performances.
The performances, yeah, they've definitely given us some iconic moments.
Oh, absolutely. And Rihanna and Britney Spears sharing the stage.
Oh, in 2011?
Yeah, that was electric.
It was.
The energy, that little bit of Britney flair.
Yeah, it definitely captured the spirit of the BMAs.
It did.
Bold, unexpected.
Pushing boundaries.
Pushing boundaries, yeah.
And speaking of pushing boundaries.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson's virtual performance in 2014.
Groundbreaking.
It was groundbreaking.
It was.
The technology to create that holographic presence.
Cutting edge.
A poignant reminder of his legacy.
It was.
And the impact he continues to have on music and dance.
Absolutely, even after his passing.
Speaking of legendary performers, Prince's appearance in 2013.
Oh, yeah, what a performance.
His raw energy. His musicianship.
His stage presence.
Captivating.
Captivating, yeah.
It was like watching a master class in showmanship.
It really was.
And Madonna and Stevie Wonder's tribute to Prince.
In 2016.
So moving.
Incredibly moving.
A beautiful performance that showcased the respect for Prince and the raw emotion that his music evoked.
Yeah.
It's moments like these that elevate the BMAs.
They do.
Beyond just an award show.
Yeah.
They become part of music history.
They do.
Speaking of powerful forces in music, we touched on the impact of social media.
Social media, yeah, it's huge.
I'm curious to explore that a little further.
Sure.
How do you think it's shaping how artists connect with their fans?
It's a completely different world compared to even just a decade ago.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
How?
Social media has become this incredibly powerful tool for artists.
Okay.
To connect with fans directly.
Okay.
Build communities. Gauge their popularity in real time.
Wow. So it's no longer just about album sales or radio play?
It's not. No.
It's about likes, shares, comments, followers.
Yeah.
That online buzz.
It's a new form of currency.
It is.
Yeah.
And the BMAs, with their data-driven approach, he seemed well-equipped to navigate that.
This dude.
They're incorporating that social media data into existing categories.
That's right.
And they've even introduced that Top Social Artist Award.
Entirely determined by fans online.
A recognition of the power of online fan bases.
It is.
And how they can impact an artist's success.
For sure.
It's fascinating to see those traditional metrics of success evolving. Makes me wonder if the BMAs are setting a precedent.
Maybe.
For other award shows to follow suit.
It's possible.
They've always been forward-thinking.
They have.
Willing to adapt.
Yeah.
Their data-driven approach gives them a unique advantage.
I think so.
It'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out.
It will.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
Exploring the data-driven nature, the evolution, memorable performances, and the impact of social media.
We still got more to uncover.
Stay with us as we head into the final act of our deep dive, where we'll delve into the future of the Billboard Music Awards.
Sounds good.
And explore those burning questions about the changing relationships between artists, fans, and the institutions that recognize them.
I can't wait.
Okay, so we're back for the final act of our deep dive into the Billboard Music Awards.
It's been a journey.
It really has. And, as we've been talking about all these different facets of the BMAs, I keep coming back to their decision to go digital.
It's a big one.
It feels like a turning point, not just for the BMAs, but for music awards in general.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's like they're acknowledging that the old ways of doing things, they're fading away.
The industry used to dictate what was good or successful.
Yeah, that top-down approach.
Exactly.
It feels like the power is shifting.
I agree.
Fans have a more direct connection with artists now.
With social media and streaming.
Yeah, it's a more democratic approach. Wouldn't you say?
Glad you do, yeah.
And the BMAs, by going digital, they're embracing this shift.
They're making the awards more accessible, more interactive.
More responsive to the audience.
To a global audience.
It's not just about passively watching a show anymore.
It's about participating.
It makes you wonder what the future holds.
What do you think?
Could we see even more radical changes?
Like what?
Real-time fan voting during the show.
Oh, interesting.
Interactive performances, incorporating social media.
I mean, the possibilities are exciting, right? Imagine award categories determined entirely by online engagement.
The true pulse of the fans.
Exactly.
The BMAs, they've got the data.
And they're willing to adapt.
It's almost like they're paving the way for a new era of music awards.
A more inclusive, dynamic era.
It's an exciting time to be a music fan.
It is.
We've talked about all those metrics they use.
Yeah.
Sales, streams, radio play, social media engagement. It's clear they take a comprehensive approach.
They want to recognize success across all platforms.
But how do you measure the intangible?
Ooh, good question.
The emotional connection, the artistic innovation.
The cultural impact?
The things that go beyond the data.
That's a question that artists, music lovers, philosophers have been asking for a long time.
Maybe some things are just beyond measurement.
Maybe they're best experienced through the heart and soul.
Maybe that's where the true magic of music lies.
I think you're onto something.
In those moments that transcend data.
And connect us on a deeper level.
The BMAs attempt to quantify success.
They do.
But ultimately, it's those intangible qualities that make music so powerful.
Absolutely. The things we can't always put into words or numbers.
Exactly. The BMAs, they celebrate commercial success.
Yeah.
But they also remind us of the broader impact of music.
Its impact on our lives, our culture, our world.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
From their humble beginnings to their digital transformation.
And a real evolution.
We've explored their data-driven heart, their show-stopping performances.
And the future of music awards.
We hope you've enjoyed exploring this world with us.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on The Deep Dive.
Keep listening.
Keep exploring.
And keep the music playing.